Right, so Joe, tell us about this wonderful place that we've landed in here in Jerpoint Abbey.
Yeah, this is the town of Newtown Jerpoint. Started in the 12th century, died out in the 16th century. Now this served Jerpoint Abbey. That was the purpose of the town. But what really floats my boat on this is the intelligence of the people. Now, they really knew the single biggest problem here was law and order. There just wasn't any. So with that in mind, the River Nore here on this side, which is the fastest river in Europe, so they're very safe on that side. On the lower end of it then they have a small river, which is okay for security, but very suitable to drive water wheels.
Oh, I see.
There are 2 water wheels in town and a real fast little river to drive them. And then behind our back here, you had a timber moat on this side here, because the timber was gone. It was high enough that it never flooded, and all the big storms came in this way. So it was down as the storm, it was up as the flood, you had all the protection they possibly could have, and you had a real fast little river that the water wheels.
And that was back now in, we're talking in the...
We built our story on the 14th century.
14th century.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We're looking at the 14th century, and we're looking at this place laid out before us as to what it was like at that time.
A vibrant, wealthy town.
A real town there.
A real wealthy town.
Imagine.
Yeah.
And of course you mentioned because there was a toll on the bridge across the River Nore.
Yes, there was a King's Charter got to put to repair the bridge, and after that then there was a toll on it.
Okay, and you showed us a wonderful picture over there where you've done a survey of the whole of the land, and an artist imagined what it was like back there then with the houses and everything. Amazing.
Yeah. When you walk the streets, and all the streets are still here, and all the footprints of every house is here. It's the only place in the world where there is a footprint of an ordinary person's house. Now there's castles and abbeys and all that stuff, but it's the only place there's an ordinary person's house.
And when you say the footprint, then what you really see is indentations in the land, and the survey has shown where each house plot was.
Yes, in great detail, and the X-ray of the ground fits the different measurements that's in it, so we're absolutely certain that it is perfectly right.
Amazing, Joe. Amazing.
But now, seeing that we built our story on the 14th century,
yes.
This town started in the 12th century, and it died out in the 16th century, but we just picked that point for our story.
Perfect, okay. So this town then lasted until what time did you say? When did it die out?
Sometime in the 16th century.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what was there after that were ruins really, and the commerce maybe moved towards Kilkenny or something, right?
No. What happened here was, the town here now, it was a real wealthy town. The first thing they had here is they had a huge pilgrim business with St. Nicholas.
Oh, of course.
They were
forgot about him.
So busy as they could only stay 2 nights and they had to move on. Like in the 27 houses there were 14 taverns, and the church is way too big as well. Like it just doesn't fit and they put together. But what was really going on here was, because St. Nicholas is here, the pilgrims were coming, they were praying in the church and they were staying in the little hotels.
And St. Nicholas is buried down here?
Just in front of the church door.
Will we go down and have a look maybe?
We'll go down and have a look.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Joe.
The tomb of St. Nicholas. Now St. Nicholas, the bottom line on him really is, he was born in the 2nd century and he died in the 3rd century. And his parents died when he was a very young baby and left him immensely wealthy. And he gave his life and his money to the poor. But now, did you ever see the 3 borders hung inside the pawn shop?
I did, yeah, the 3 balls outside the pawn shop.
Yeah, brass balls.
Yes.
They go back to this man. And what they're about is, the time he was bishop in Moira, at that time a girl couldn't marry without a dowry. So he went on one day with 3 bags of gold. That's what those symbols come from.
Okay.
And the first house he went to, he threw a bag in the door. He was trying to do this discreetly now, so the first bag in the door for her. The second house he went to, he threw it in the window for her. But when he got to the 3rd house, it was locked up and he dropped it down the chimney. And we leave it there. You can come to your own conclusions about that. But then, when he died, he was buried in Moira.
Where's Moira now? Or
Moira, he was a Turk.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Okay. So St. Nicholas was a Turk.
Yeah, and that's recorded as a deserted tomb.
Okay.
And the reason for that was because of the fighting, that when they were fighting at war, to protect this, they brought it to Barry initially. and then they moved it again.
St. Nicholas's
His bones. Yeah. But then in the 12th century, then the abbey down here was a home of the Crusaders, and they put a ship to sea and they came back here with it.
So they brought St. Nicholas back here.
They brought his bones back here. Now, the reason they done that was this was the farthest away part of the world. There was no further they could go because America wasn't found. It was as inland as far as they could possibly go, and even when the Muslim got here, they'd be routing below at the abbey looking for it, and here to sit near nice and quiet.
So not down by the abbey, but just up here by the church.
Yeah. But now, where he was buried, that's recorded as a deserted tomb. And this is recorded on the first order survey map, whatever drawn of Ireland. This is recorded as St. Nicholas's tomb.
Wow. That's Ptolemy, isn't it?
Now, I didn't believe it at all first, but now I have no doubt at all that there's something very special here.
And why do you say that, Joe?
Well, I suppose one of the reasons that first thing happened here was when we decided to open this to the public, we had cameras here and the politicians, and we're trying to ramp up a bit of publicity on it when she got a phone call from her sister to say a happy wedding anniversary. We got married on St. Nicholas's feast day years before we ever heard of this place. I never put the two together.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and lots of more stories like that happen here in front of my eyes.
So lots of coincidences, if there's any such thing.
Well, what a coincidence is God ways of staying anonymous. And we have coincidence here on a very regular basis.
Really?
Yeah. But no, I have no doubt at all now that there is something very, very special there.
And many people come to see this monument, St. Nicholas?
They do. We'll have probably somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 people this year.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's from when we started here, there was a dozen a year maybe coming.
Very good.
And to really taking hold and taking the interest of the people. You know, like if you think about this man is dead 1,800 years, and he lights up the world every Christmas. He comes back every year and lights up the whole world.
Santa Claus and St. Nicholas, yes.
Yeah. You know, it's just amazing. If you think of December without Christmas, it would be a very dreary place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
so we owe it all to this man here. So.
Yeah.